Herxheimer reactions and stuff. So you have to open up the detox pathways, and then I try and pull out all the stuff that's creating that environment.
When you say address detox pathways, what does that mean?
So in the liver, there's 3 parts to detoxification, right? There's an oxidant that's created, there's the conjugation of it, and then there's a transport of that out of the body. So you have to be sure that's working in the liver. The liver is a huge part of detoxing the body. Also the kidneys, supporting the kidneys so that they can detox. And then the bowel system. So making sure that your body, the bowels are moving, and that you're binding all these things, especially the GMO foods, right, that provide the pesticides and herbicides that are in there. We got to get that all out of there. And then from there, the other big thing is being sure the cell, the magic happens when you get the cell, right? When you get the cell processes working, detoxifying, glutathione, binding the toxins, pulling them out, nutrients coming in, all the cell receptors available to do the hormone binding, and then the expression of the proper DNA, enzymes can be made, proteins can be made, and then getting to the final component, which is the brain. When we get to the brain, that's when major change happens. Now, do people feel a difference beforehand? Sure. I mean, just getting the gut cleaned up takes care of 70% of the stuff. And I've seen dramatic changes in getting lots of parasites out of people. I had one gal come down from Montana, and she had hives for the past year. She's seen all kinds of specialists up there. And I put her in a couple of things, and within a week she passed a 6-foot-long thing, came out of her, and she hasn't had hives in the last 3 months. So it's creating an immune response in a way in her body. So it's getting to those stressors. And I'll tell you, I'm always learning. That's one thing is I have all the answers? I don't have all the answers, but I'm always learning and trying to know, because for me, I know if it's good enough or not. Okay, I've done all the Lyme disease protocols. I've done the Babesia and the Epstein-Barr stuff, and I've done parasite protocols now. And I'm like, okay, how much better do I feel? Something's still missing. And that's when I found the parasite stuff and the heavy metal stuff. And then, you start realizing and learning and putting all this together. What are all these stressors that can be there? At 28, when I got Epstein-Barr virus, I was engaged, broke up. The engagement got, called off. So there's a little bit of emotional stress in that. That happened as well. Made me more susceptible to catching something that was out there. So
how do you get the Epstein-Barr?
It's really common. It's amazing how common Epstein-Barr is. Mono is one way it can express, right? Some of the herpes viruses. Boy, I think especially with thyroid, you have to really look at viruses and how important that is. I just read a book that talked extensively about Epstein-Barr, and there's 5 stages to it, and the different stages. Most people only recognize the mono stage, but that's stage 2. But there are other 4 stages which show chronic disease, and it's even though they may not come up on the blood test, it could still be at a low level in the different organs. I just tested a 17-year-old, and she's been sick for 3 years. And I said, man, energy, chronic pain, just headaches. We've gotten tons of parasites out of her, but she still has this fatigue stuff. So I went through, we did the antibodies, and I think the numbers were supposed to be like single-digit numbers, or maybe just into the double-digit numbers for being normal. I mean, she was over 600 in her antibodies. Like, no wonder why you're not functioning. And so we're putting her through that protocol for Epstein-Barr, mono, but I mean herpes. Everybody it seems like has herpes, are born with it, right? And believe it or not, those can cause, when your immune system's suppressed due to physical, chemical or emotional stress, these things can then take over and show themselves. And that's how a lot of Lyme people with Lyme disease, the same thing. Something dramatic happens in their lives, and then there's a big shift in the body, and then it overtakes it. It could have had it for quite a while. So, It's really, really interesting. I get pictures from people all the time. What's coming out of them, and it makes a difference. I have a gal in New Zealand, a doctor I'm working with in New Zealand, and she's just like proud of her parasites. and I laugh. And I have this gal in Ohio. Literally, she's had 4 of her neighbors call me, and one of them's like, "I eat organic for 20 years. I don't have parasites. I don't have any of that stuff on me." So she calls me. I just can't believe this stuff's in me. I really can't believe it's really in me.
I'm in the mountain. I see something 6 feet come out of me. I'm gonna be
Well, it's not moving usually.
it's not moving?
No. By the time it's coming out, it's dead, right? So, but the thing is this: we're all exposed to all these things. We got to get healthy. We got to get detoxified. We got to get the systems work from that cell level out to where your body can really be where it needs to be.
How do you treat hepatitis C?
So you build the immune system up, and you treat with different viral protocols, herbals, homeopathics. So part of that depends on where it's at. Is it chronic? Is it from 20 years ago? 45 years ago? Then you go, there's some really good homeopathic remedies that you go low and slow. And that's kind of how that works. If it's something that's acute, then you're bombarding a lot quicker. So part of what I do with helping people out is we in our clinic we integrate homeopathy with herbals, with nutrition, essential oils, Bach flower remedies to help release the anchored emotions. There's multitude of things we do. Tests we run, live cell analysis to look at, to consider. It helps us to see digestive issues as well, how the blood looks. It's amazing what the blood looks like under a microscope compared to a number on the page. It shows a whole different thing, right? So, any other questions?
That, we talked one time, the factor that the scientists were finding out about that was involved in weight loss, that everybody started disappearing because they were talking about it. Is there any other people doing research on that? I can't remember the name of it. It's like 4 letters.
Of course.
Factor, and I didn't know.
Yeah. I don't know if it was doing research on it now, but I think it's being done in Europe.
Okay.
That's where I think most of that stuff's being done at. In the United States, there's a lot of complications here with that.
Yeah.
What about years and years of like medication for migraines and maybe after surgeries, pain relievers and muscle relaxers? I mean, for years, is that something that could cause a lot of these issues as well, with toxicity and?
Well, sure. Medications is a big problem, right, with toxicity.
But being without it and drinking tons of water, wouldn't you think that eventually that would flush out of your system, or do those just stay for a long time?
They can be launched in the organs, for a long time. It depends on whether or not your body's detoxifying properly in doing it. Migraines can. A big part of migraines I've seen is food sensitivities, leaky gut. For me, dairy causes a lot of migraines. It's amazing. It amazes me. But then the right type of dairy can actually be very healing to the body. Chemicals, parasites, yeast, fungus overgrowth. I mean, there's a lot of stressors that can create that problem. I've worked with quite a few people with that kind of thing. So much of that's internal. Some could be structural, but a lot of it's internal.
What is the right type of dairy?
Okay, good question. Okay, so there's this guy named Jordan Rubin. And Jordan Rubin is just fantastic. I spent some time with him a few weeks ago and down in Scottsdale. And he is the founder of a company called Garden for Life. Garden of Life. Garden of Life, right? Also Beyond Organic. And he has a new company now that he's making these superfood things that are really amazing to me. And he's teaching people how to do it. I mean, his whole goal is to really renew people's health, but also renew the earth. And so it goes back to the actual cows. They've been bred to where they produce a lot more milk and dairy with I think it's a beta-1 casein and So they changed the casein molecule to where the other type of dairy that used to be good that they had for many years was beta-2 casein. So he bred them back to where they produce the other type, the good type of casein that doesn't cause the problems in there. It's amazing what that guy has done. I mean, pictures of that guy was amazing with his Crohn's disease. That guy looked like a survivor from the Holocaust. Mm-hmm. And he's done it all through changing his food and diet and fasting. So how do you heal? There's a multi-therapeutic approach to how to heal, right? Okay, one is going to be supporting the detoxification pathways in the cell. Okay, another thing is going to be diet, right? Another is what they call ancient healing methods, where you're doing intermittent fasting, you're doing bone broth, swear away, or what they call healing water fasts, coconut water fasts. Things that, some of these fasts can really stimulate thyroid sensitivity, as well as upregulate growth hormone in the body. So when you do the fast, the growth hormone in females increased by 1,300%, in men it's by 2,000%. It also helps to open up the detox pathways in the liver, kidney, and bowels. Inflammation goes down so fast. I had a guy I've been working with, one of the first guys I put on this swear away fast, and his knee pain, his chronic knee pain that he had, boom, was gone after this fast. Like, wow, it's awesome. So not only is it systemic inflammation, but our goal is to get down to cellular inflammation too. All of a sudden, cells aren't as inflamed. Boom, you're more sensitive to the hormones that are in your body. So, we guide people through that process of, okay, here's the diet we're doing this month, here's the diet we're doing next month, here's the fasts we're doing, the different ones we're mixing up, and then here's the process that we're going to do to support cellular detox, then to support liver, kidney, colon function. Here's the stuff we're going to do to remove the stressors out of the body. And then, hey, we're changing from the cellular healing diet, now we're going into a ketogenic diet, now we're doing the ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting. And it's amazing how the body can really heal when it has the right things in it. So, any other questions over here?
Is anything covered by insurance, or is it?
That's a great question, right? It depends. For right now, at the moment, I work on my chiropractic license, right? But so the initial exam can be done. If I do structural work, that can be covered. I would be considered out of network. So that would all be dependent on your insurance. Most people just pay cash, right? That's just where it's going to. And besides, how high are the deductibles now? I mean, they're astronomical, $5,000, $10,000. For a lot of deductibles are going up with the whole Obamacare stuff.
What about Medicare?
Medicare doesn't cover any of it.
It doesn't cover anything.
No. They would cover, if I went through and went crack, 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 and that would be it. They don't cover exams, they don't cover x-rays, they don't cover anything. So, yeah. It's one of those things where I found the people that heal them. It's interesting. They did a study, I think another MIT study. The people that had the most healing are the ones that paid the most. Wow. Probably because they're most vested into their own health, right? Yeah. And so one of the doctors I work with, and he's very picky on who he chooses. It's like, all right, it's $14,000 to work with me. Bam, like that. And I'm thinking, well, that's fantastic. He does that. I mean, I want to help more people out than just that. So it's just like, wow. But I know I have another gal. She works down in Utah, and they have a clinic. They work with cancer patients, and it's like, okay, it's going to cost you $30,000. People write checks for it. Closes multiple packages a week, and it just comes down to, are you the 3% or the 97%? Where are you going to be at? You're going to have success in going down that avenue, and that's the process. Any other questions? So, the way my process works, I'm guessing you're wanting to know. I have an initial appointment. We go through all these tests, 6 different tests. We look at your blood as well under the microscope, do my evaluation, and it takes about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. and we go through, do a thorough history. Ideally, have all the paperwork in ahead of time, blood tests, all that stuff you've had ahead of time, so I can go through that before you come in. And so when we do our seminars, our normal visits are $300 for the initial exam, and so we discount that. I'm discounting that to $225, so we take $75 off of the initial exam to come in and set that up and at least see that. And then after that, we sit down and we'll go through, okay, this is how it works, and do you want to move forward, or do you does this fit for you, or does it not fit? Not everybody's a right fit, right? Not everybody's in that position or ready for that change. Because the change includes diet, and believe it or not, people that would rather have their legs cut off than change their diet. And I'm serious. I've had a diabetic patient that already has a prosthetic on this leg and has a hole in that foot there, and it's going to get that cut off. And I just said, this is required. Otherwise, there's no results. What results am I going to get if you don't change your diet? Lots of people are like that. They just want a pill. Obviously, none of you are that way because you're all here to learn. And so what we do is we coach you over 6 months, but it's going to be a year or two journey. Our goal is to have you do what? Is have you learn how to do it yourself. When you do go and talk to your doctor, you know the stuff better than he does, and you can help guide him for the right tests if you need to get different testing done. I'm really privileged to work with Dr. Blackwell and Dr. Red. And Dr. Blackwell is a phenomenal researcher, and any question I need to know, hey, Dr. Blackwell, what's this all about? And he has it down to science. And then Dr. Red, who he's not only has the background in learning about all the cellular health and alternative health, but he also has the background of working within St. Al's and having his education as a doctor, osteopathic doctor, DO. And so he helps a lot of patients that I can't write prescriptions for. He'll take care of that. They may need it for SIBO conditions, parasitic things, whatever it may be that we may need to use. And sometimes you need the thyroid hormone. You need other hormones. You need other stuff that may get you to that point. Our ultimate goal is to do what? Get you off the medications that you don't need, so that they're not creating side effects. Get your body to work right. Sometimes you have to have that in between thing, right? To get that off. Well, there's no other questions. So you have our number there. If anybody wants to set an appointment, I might be able to go online and do that. But thank you for your time. Appreciate it. I hope it was worth your time.
Oh, very good.
So we'll be presenting in January at Natural Grocers. We'll be presenting on some stuff in regards to weight loss, detoxification, hormones, and emotions in January over at Natural Grocers. Just really educational on that. With Dr. Blackwell as well. And then
You put that on Facebook for what's today?
I think it's the second, third, and fourth Thursday at Natural Grocers.
It's on Thursday.
It's Thursday night, yeah, 6:30. Natural Grocers on Milwaukee. Milwaukee and the mall.
No,
No, there's only one. Yeah, it's over by Cost Plus. Cost Plus.
by Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank